Hey YouTube, it's been a while since I've created a video regarding headphone equipment, but I thought I'd post something here regarding the Naim Unity Atom Headphone Edition. So what I'll say here in the beginning, summary in the beginning, very, very nice unit. Super impressed with it. It's a joy to use, has everything built in to a single unit. You have your streaming, high quality preamp, high quality headphone amplifier. But it's something that I've decided not to keep. I'm going to be sending it back. And the primary reason for that is that I have other devices here in my stable that give me better performance in each area. So, for example, with regard to the headphone amplifier, again, super impressed with the performance on this unit. But here on my desktop, I have a Sennheiser HDV820 here on the bottom. And then I have a Cord Cutest there in the back. I usually run that analog, just the RCA inputs into the Sennheiser. And when I want a slightly more visceral experience, I get that with the Cord. The thing that I like a lot about the Naim Unity Atom Headphone Edition is that I can listen to it for hours and hours and hours and never feel fatigue. It's not overly relaxing, but it is a much more relaxing experience than I have with my Cord Cutest and paired up with the Sennheiser HDV820. The problem though is that sometimes I do want that slightly more visceral, impactful, engaging experience when I'm listening to music, and I get that with the Cord. And then when I want something a little bit more mellow and laid back, I can get a separate DAC. And here, just as an example, I have this is an old Parasound DAC that also has some highly regarded Burr Brown chips in them. And I can run that into the Sennheiser using the XLRs, and I get that, a little bit more calm, relaxed presentation. Same goes for this Denon PMA A110. It also uses Burr Brown DACs. I think this is PCM 1795 based. I think this one is PCM 1791. This is PCM 63. And then here on the other side of the room, which I'll talk more about here in a minute, I have a Naim N272, and I think it has PCM 1792A. Burr Brown DACs in it. And I just, in case you're interested, I've mostly moved to Burr Brown DACs all over my house. So I have a 1796 bass device, I have a 1798 bass device, and the other ones I just mentioned here. I have another 1795 bass device in my bedroom, all kinds of Burr Brown all around the house. And people might be surprised that Burr Brown is still, people may not realize that a lot of very popular devices are still utilizing Burr Brown DACs. Even Naim's top of the line streamer, it's like $24,000, something like that. Their 555 unit, it uses old Burr Brown DACs. It uses PCM 1704, which are not in production anymore, but that is their top of the line. I guess Naim purchased a bunch of those right when they announced that they were discontinuing them from Burr Brown. Anyways, getting back to the Naim Unity Atom, again, it's a very impressive unit. If you only want a single unit that has everything built in, streaming, high quality volume control, good capable headphone amplifier. Here they have the 1/4 inch on the front and they have an XLR on the back. It's great. It sounds really, really good. And if you want to just keep a clean desk or maybe use it as a preamp, it does great. But as I said, I get better performance with separates from a headphone listening experience, and then from a preamp experience, again, going back to the Naim N272, that's a better sounding preamp to me. I think the Naim Unity Atom Headphone Edition gets me about 80% of the performance of the N272, and the headphone jack in that 1/4 inch jack is quite capable. But The Naim Unity Atom is slightly better. It's maybe 10 to 20% better from a headphone experience, but that is about 10 to 20% better from a preamp experience. So, trade-offs. There's always going to be trade-offs with this stuff. Again, coming back to this side of the room, when I'm using the separates, the Sennheiser headphone amp and a separate DAC, that is about 20% better than the headphone listening experience here. So again, if I just wanted a single device that did everything for me, then Naim Unity Atom would be a strong contender. Another important point I wanted to make folks aware of. When it comes to getting a signal into this device, I didn't really love the Ethernet connection. So streaming to it over Ethernet, I could hear a little graininess in there. It was only when I went to Wi-Fi, and I think others in the Naim forums mentioned that they kind of have this the same experience, that the Wi-Fi sound is a little bit better to me, a little less of that grain than using the Ethernet. But you can get even better still if you use a high quality coax connection. So, for example, here on my desk, I probably won't be able to see it, but back there hiding is a device called a Matrix Expedif 2, and it connects to a PC over USB, and then it has multiple outputs, optical, coax, and AES EBU. And so I run the coax into the Naim Unity Atom, and that sounds even better than the Wi-Fi. The coax running in from a reclocking device sounds better to my ears than the Wi-Fi. And so where does that leave me? Well, I'm now not using the streaming capability of the Naim Unity Atom because I get better sound quality, better performance by using another high quality connection going into the DAC in here. So to me, it defeats the purpose of the streamer built in, and I get a better sound experience when I use a separate headphone amplifier. And on the other side of the room, if I were to use this as a preamp, I'm losing some performance on the other side of the room from a preamp perspective. So, it's three of the major purposes of this for me in my use case. The streamer, I can do better by having an external device. The headphone amp, I get a better experience by using a separate headphone amp. And then 3, as a preamp, I have a better experience by using a separate preamp. Now, mind you, all of these things, when you separate them out, they can become more expensive very quickly, which is why I will go back to saying that I actually recommend this device. I recommend the Naim Unity Atom Headphone Edition. I think it's a fantastic device if you just want an all-in-one. It's a joy to use. It sounds great. It has every feature and function you could ever want. But for me, an audio junkie, a crazy audio junkie, audiophile, I value having the best possible performance, and I get better performance with other things. So I hope that summary makes sense for folks. Again, I want to say it again. I don't want to make it seem like I'm poo-pooing on this device, because that is not my intent. It is a fantastic single solution device. If that's what interests you, I'd highly recommend it. But just be aware that if you go down this path, that you at least want to look at having a strong Wi-Fi signal to use the Wi-Fi connection, or better yet, having a separate device that can send a clean signal over coax into this. One other thing that I tried was the what is it called? The iFi Zen Stream, which is a great sounding streamer. Running that coax into here sounded better to me. I used also my Blue Sound Node. The coax connection into here sounded better. And then again, as I mentioned, I think the best sounding one, and we're talking minor differences here at this point with these different coax, external coax devices, the Matrix Expedif sounded the best out of all my coax connections. So I hope this video helps somebody out there who's evaluating this device. Once again, great device, so don't be discouraged by what I said. But if you have any further questions, feel free to post in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer. Thanks.